What's going on, guys? Timothy Wilkes here from T Does Entertainment, and I wanted to talk about one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball, that being Piccolo. Um, well, I actually liked his father in Dragon Ball, in the original Dragon Ball series, Piccolo Daimao, because he was just tyrannical. He was just a terrible human. Well, I can't say he's a terrible human. He was a terrible villain, and I mean that in a good way. He didn't care. He was ruthless. He wanted to rule and destroy. He kind of put me in the mind of how they wanted BoJack to be. It was kind of similar to BoJack. But anyway, Piccolo. I say they ruined his character, especially in Super, and even I could even go as far back as the Buu saga, as the Buu arc. Well, I'll get into that. I'll do my description on the Buu arc, what I liked about the Buu arc and stuff, my thoughts on the Buu arc. But that'll be in a later video. Anyway, they put him on the sidelines, and all that started in the Buu arc. They gave him a little fighting in Super. Put him against Frost and he got beat. Especially in the Tournament of Power, they made him the way they did Piccolo was despicable. And even in this movie that I told y'all I was gonna watch, them giving him a transformation through Shenron, him having to go to Shenron to get a power up, that's the part that I don't really like. I don't like this whole trope in Super where they're giving people power ups, where they're just giving them a he has to go to Shenron to get it. It's no different from granola. It's no different from gas. It's no different from anybody else that's just got this unearned, undeserved power up. Just like I can see if he unlocked this form on his own. I don't agree with the form, how it looks and all of that stuff. I don't agree with the design. I don't agree with any of it. I don't agree none of how it looks. Now, if he unlocked it on his own, with his own training, with his own efforts, with his own will, let's say if he's been training with Gohan unlocked his potential, and then Piccolo helped him, and Gohan in turn, he was training with Gohan, he managed to unlock his potential, or he spent time training, and I can see if he went to Elder Kai, or because Elder Kai can unlock potential. We know that too to be true. Elder Kai, you have I know Guru could back in the Namek saga in Dragon Ball Z. He may have could have went to Namek or something like that. He may have could have had a ship somewhere and went to New Namek, or it could have been some way they could have had it to where you can explain how he got this power instead of him just wishing to Shenron, and I'm just not really. They had to give him a power. They had to give him a hand. It's like they gave him a handout just to make him on par with everybody else. And Piccolo trains too hard to be that far behind, to be that irrelevant. And that's why I say they made these characters way too strong. They should have made it shouldn't have made them progress just this much. Now everybody's like universal and all this other crap, and it's just too much. All these different crazy transformations. There's just no. It's more so internet fan service stuff. Just giving them forms because what they seen on the internet, and I'm not liking it. I'm not liking what they did with his character, because throughout from the end of Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, the Namek saga, the Cell saga, Piccolo was never on the sidelines. He was fighting. He was involved in the fights. And like I said, what they did in the Buu arc, there was no other enemy really but Majin Buu, and there was nothing for Piccolo to do. There was nothing for him he was babysitting basically in the Buu arc. I just don't like how they turned one of the Z fighters, greatest fighters, into just a sideline. I don't like how they did it because they did it from Buu saga on. He was just a sideshow. He was just on the sidelines. He was just a comic relief and all this other stuff. Even in GT, he was on the sidelines. You didn't see him do any fighting. He didn't fight anymore after Dragon Ball Z. After the Buu saga, after the Cell arc, And as far as canonical, as far as I'm not talking as far outside of Super. After the Cell arc, he didn't do any more fighting. He was, I like seeing his techniques, his special beam cannon, his the light grenade, what's the other one? The scattered shot. He had a lot of different techniques. Him versus 17 was a great fight. You can tell he's a good fighter. So a lot of this is, I don't know, is how they just pushed him aside like that, and it just became the Goku and Vegeta show. It just became about the Saiyans. The Buu arc was mostly about the Saiyans, and you had all these other Z fighters that just didn't even come close to being able to compete with Majin Buu and all of that stuff. I think that they made a mistake by put him on the sidelines from the Buu cycle on forward, because he could have been a worthy fighter, a worthy ally, especially in Shadow. How they just pushed him out of the story in GT with the Shadow Dragon arc and all of that stuff. I just don't. I don't like how they did Piccolo. I honestly don't. Because he could have been a valuable asset to a lot of these fights. I know they took him. They tried to use him in the manga, in the Moral arc and stuff like that, but it wasn't enough. I don't think it wasn't enough. Even in tournament power, it wasn't enough. How he got beat by a cockroach. He got beat by a bug, some kind of fly, a mosquito or something. He got eliminated by a bug. Someone that's more powerful than a Super Saiyan, someone that's stronger than a Super Saiyan 2. He tapped out Super Saiyan 2 Gohan when they were sparring. When they was sparring in the wilderness, and he was trying to get Gohan to unlock his ultimate form again. He tapped out a Super Saiyan 2. Full power Super Saiyan, because Gohan wasn't weak. He wasn't a jobber, because he had been training. He went from being real skinny in the Resurrection F all the way. He was buff again when he was training with Piccolo again. He had been training with Piccolo since the Resurrection F, so that wasn't a weak Gohan. He was full power Super Saiyan 2. He was stronger than he was in the Buu cycle, and Piccolo just tapped him out like it wasn't nothing. So he's stronger than a Super Saiyan 2. And he just got beat by a cockroach. That's what I'm not getting. I don't understand that, and I don't like how they did him when he fought Frost. I don't like it, not one bit. You give him one little ounce of spotlight only for him to get defeated easily, and I just don't like it. I wished that Piccolo would have discovered what Frost was doing and eliminated him. I wish it would have been Piccolo. Honestly, they should have gave him. If you're gonna, especially if you're gonna just put Piccolo in after being on the sidelines for so long. I just didn't agree with that, not one bit. I don't agree with it. Them having him on the sidelines in the Buu saga. I didn't agree with him just being on the sidelines for most of the series of Dragon Ball Super. He fought in the Resurrection there, of course, but how they did him in the anime version, it was just pathetic. They made him give his life. They try to, like I said, they try to rehash the way they give his life in Nappa. When he gave his life for Gohan in the Saiyan saga, they tried to rehash that, and I don't know, man. It's just embarrassing how they did him. They just made him. They downgraded Piccolo, because he was a force to be reckoned with. You go back and watch the Dragon Ball Piccolo Jr. You go back and watch what was that? The Saiyan saga. How strategic he is. He's a tactician like Vegeta. He can, him and Vegeta both are very good at strategizing. Because you can see, and that's one thing I liked about the Saiyan saga was Piccolo, and how he was able to keep them alive as long as he did until Goku got there. And he was a tactician to keep. He came up with plans to if it wasn't for Gohan being afraid, which I understand that, because he was a 4-year-old kid, like a 5-year-old kid, in a fight to the death. So I can't blame Gohan for being scared. And but if it wasn't for that, they could have did some serious damage to Nappa. you know. So, and they they pretty much had that fight. They didn't have any chance of winning, of course, but seeing out how he was able to work out little strategies with them, and that's stuff you can't get back. And from the movies, how Piccolo, his entrances in the movies was just killer. The way he saved Gohan in some of the movies, how he showed up in those movies in Dead Zone, the way he showed up in what was that other one? Cooler's Revenge. Now that one was, and how he showed up with Broly, even though Broly was stronger than everybody in that movie, the legendary Super Saiyan. The way he was just, you could just tell they took time out and thought about. They just gave him this bad man look, man. He was bad. He was hardcore, man. In all these different movies, he was hardcore. Especially the Cool's Revenge, how he killed Salza with the special beam cannon. Cause at the end they try to pretend like they didn't know where it came from. Who else does a special beam cannon? A special beam cannon out of nowhere. Who did it come from? We know who it came from. It was just teasing, but cause the way he always saved Gohan. What was it? I liked him in all those different movies. Tree of Might. He had a place in all these movies. You saw most of his fighting like I said, in the movies, in the early parts of the series, the Saiyan arc, especially in the Frieza arc. When I saw him fighting Frieza, well on Frieza, he challenged Frieza after he killed all the Namekians and he merged with Nail. Frieza killed all the Namekians. Piccolo, Piccolo found Nail when he was about to die, and it was I like that fight too. And how I say they ruined him because they stopped making him fight. They took him off the front lines, and just made him a side character, made him a babysitter. He's babysitting Pan and all that stuff, which is fine. I don't mind doing that, but why is he not fighting anymore? Why is he not fight? What happened to the fighting Piccolo? What happened to the death beams and the special beam cannons and the Mukun Kosopo and I can't say that name right, but what happened to all of that? What happened to the light grenades and him being with the Z fighters fighting for his life? And I know you gotta have slice of life and peace and stuff like that, but hey, we come to see action too, though. We want to see Piccolo bust some heads. I want to see more of Piccolo busting heads. I want to see him, special beam cannon people through the chest. I want to see more of that. I just want to see more, just him beating down on people. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him babysit. I don't want to watch a whole series with him babysitting Pan or changing a diaper. I want to see him fight. I want to see him do something. And then it looks weird. He's in his fighting clothes, babysitting and changing diapers and stuff. It just looks weird. It just looks funny. I actually want to see him do other stuff. If you go, they domesticated Piccolo basically. They turned him into a butler or something, or a Danny. Like I said, I want to see more. The movie. That's why I said I was gonna watch the movie, because I may get to see more in the movie, but I don't know. I still think they ruined his character by making him go to the Dragon Balls to get a wish to be stronger, instead of making him earn that. They could have wrote it to where he earned that power up. They could have. I just don't know. I think they could have did better with that. I don't like that, not one bit. But like I said, I'm still gonna watch this movie, and I'm gonna give my opinions on how they did Piccolo. Is probably even worse. But I'm gonna talk about how Gohan's character was ruined, because it really was ruined. It's gonna be in another video, but I'm gonna discuss how they ruined it. And like I said, I'll be doing more videos, more content. T-Dubs Entertainment, signing out.